In this world, virtual reality has merged with real life. Many people now have unique skills and jobs. Dungeons, ancient ruins, and mysterious realms have appeared everywhere, filled with monsters. People enter these places to gain experience and collect special equipment. Among all creatures, dragons stand out. They are rare, mysterious, and as powerful as gods. At the Dragons of the Third School, students prepare for Awakening Day, a ceremony that determines their future careers. The teacher reminds them that their success in this event will shape their future, including university admissions. Although the outcome depends on luck, everyone is encouraged to stay positive. However, the teacher's words seem to be pushing them into false hope. Among the students, a serious, quiet boy catches attention. He's probably the main character. His name is Lu Fan, a transmigrator who arrived in this world 3 years ago. Today, he faces an important aptitude test. He's excited but nervous. This day could change his life forever. In this world, there are 3 types of professions. The most sought after are combat classes like warriors, mages, and archers who explore dangerous realms to collect rare items. Next are support professions like alchemists and enchanters who help adventurers. Finally, there are everyday jobs like cooks and miners who earn just enough to survive. Lu Fan lives with his aunt Han-ki, who runs a small bakery to support them. She works tirelessly, sacrificing her own needs, even though she's only 8 years older than him. Determined to give her a better life, Lu Fan hopes to awaken a combat profession. Suddenly, the teacher announces that the awakening platform is ready. The class cheers, but Lu Fan feels uneasy. The teacher, whose hair oddly resembles a headset, notices his hesitation and reassures him. Just then, a notification pops up in Lu Fan's mind. The treasure map system has been activated. Shocked but thrilled, he realizes that something exciting is finally happening. He rushes out, eager to discover what this system can do. As students gather before the principal, Lu Fan pushes through the crowd. The atmosphere is buzzing with excitement. Everyone dreams of awakening a powerful class and earning a fortune. The principal, who looks like Gandalf, introduces the priest responsible for their awakening. Using his newly activated Eye of Analysis, Lu Fan scans the priest and discovers he's a level 29 with a net worth of 5 million. Surprised, Lu Fan compares this fortune to his aunt's humble earnings. The ceremony begins. The first student called is Zhang Tao, a tall, confident guy with colorful hair. Everyone admires him, especially the girls. When Zhang awakens as a pyromancer, flames appear in his hands, impressing the crowd. Lu Fan watches, hoping he can awaken a strong combat class and escape poverty. Other students take their turns. A boy becomes a herbalist to follow his family's path. A muscular guy reluctantly awakens as a tailor, and a skinny boy becomes a miner. Lu Fan notices that only a few awaken combat professions, making him even more anxious. When the ceremony ends, Lu Fan heads home. He checks his system and discovers he's a dragon tamer. This class sparks mixed reactions because, while incredibly powerful, it's almost impossible to tame a dragon. Without one, a dragon tamer can't grow stronger. Gandalf reassures him that his class has limitless potential, suggesting he could tame a dragon subspecies like a lizard. But Lu Fan knows the truth. Only a real dragon would make him powerful. Subspecies are just fierce lizards, nothing compared to true dragons. In the past 800 years, no one has ever tamed a real dragon. Humans, no matter how strong, are insignificant compared to dragons. Although Lu Fan dreams of taming one, he knows it's a distant goal. Without a dragon, his hard work to provide a better life for his aunt now seems much harder. Lu Fan finds himself standing outside his house, barely noticing how he got there because of how deep his thoughts are. He pauses at the door before stepping in and greeting his aunt, who's busy cooking. She hands him 2 warm bread rolls with a smile, convinced today must have been incredible for him. She sits him down, eager to hear what profession he awakened. Before he can speak, she reassures him that it's okay if it's not a combat class. She had been worried he'd end up risking his life every day. Lu Fan blurts out that he became a dragon tamer. His aunt, still smiling, says it doesn't matter if he doesn't have a dragon yet. The fact he got such a rare class means he's strong. She pats his head, reminding him she'll always support him whether he continues school or stays to help in the bakery. Embarrassed but touched, Lu Fan quietly eats, feeling both grateful and frustrated. Later that night, he collapses onto his bed, thinking of her hardworking hands, rough from years of baking to support them. Anger wells up inside him. Why did he have to get such a difficult profession? He punches his pillow in frustration. Suddenly, a system notification pops up. Congratulations, you have received your first day treasure. Shocked, Lu Fan learns it's a divine level item. The system explains that treasures come in beginner, intermediate, advanced, and divine ranks. By collecting 3 maps of the same level, one can create a higher level map. Every day, he'll receive a map tied to his profession. Although Dragon Tamer is rare and tough, this system could be his way to the top. His first treasure map is divine ranked, a rare chance to change everything. The map points to Mount Shisen, a nearby level 10-20 region. Determined, Lu Fan decides to catch the last subway and reach the mountain by morning. He leaves a note for his aunt, explaining he'll return soon with something that could change their lives. By morning, Lu Fan arrives at Mount Shisen. As he walks, a muscular man and a girl with pink hair greet him. Suddenly, an older man taps Lu Fan's shoulder, asking if he wants to join their group. Sensing trouble, Lu Fan politely declines. He recognizes them as dungeon bandits who steal from adventurers. The pink-haired girl flirts with him, but Lu Fan stays cautious. The old man warns him about the dangers of traveling alone at night, but Lu Fan pretends to be confident, claiming he's a summoner. They seem impressed and leave, though the girl whispers she hopes to meet him again. Relieved but tense, Lu Fan opens his map and hurries into the forest. He moves carefully, hoping to avoid danger. Suddenly, he steps on a toad, making a loud noise. Nearby horned creatures, resembling horses with human-like faces, turn their gaze toward him. Knowing they can be aggressive, Lu Fan tries to remain calm, but panic sets in when they charge. He manages to dodge and escape, though the toad isn't as lucky. After the narrow escape, Lu Fan reaches his destination, 2 stone pillars glowing with a red light. Excited, he steps through, hoping this treasure will change his fate. In front of him is a black dragon egg, cracking as if about to hatch. Just as he begins to celebrate, he hears rustling nearby. Gripping a blade, he prepares for danger. A fox lunges at him, and though he manages to block with his blade, the creature bites down hard. Struggling, Lu Fan wrestles with the fox, eventually slamming it to the ground, ready for whatever comes next. Lu Fan finds himself in a fierce battle. Already exhausted as he faces a cunning enemy, a gray fox identified by his system as bloodthirsty and capable of regenerating health by attacking him. This makes the fox nearly invincible since Lu Fan cannot deal enough damage in one blow. With no special abilities to rely on, he struggles to defend himself. The fox lunges at him while he is lost in thought, his only hope pinned on a mysterious egg hatching. Distracted, he suffers a cut on his arm. The fox, now empowered by his blood, prepares to unleash a special attack. When the fox charges again, Lu Fan raises his blade to block it, almost shattering the weapon in the process. However, the fox attacks with its other claw, leaving Lu Fan no time to dodge. In desperation, he leaps backward and manages to stab the fox into the ground with his bent blade. He gains 120 experience points for defeating it but is left utterly exhausted. Before he can catch his breath, a group of familiar faces approaches. An old man, who had been watching the battle, commends him for defeating such a creature. Len, one of the group members, steps forward, questioning why they are following him after he had refused to join them earlier. The old man and a girl reveal that they know he lied. He isn't a summoner. Caught off guard, Len hesitates but kicks the fox towards them, sarcastically offering it. The old man picks it up, noting it's only worth 80 coins, but clarifies that their interest lies elsewhere, the dragon egg. Lu Fan panics, knowing the egg is his only chance at transforming his life. Before he can react, the giant and the girl confront him. The giant punches him, knocking the blade from his grip and dragging him across the ground. Pinned down by the girl's weapon, Lu Fan is helpless. Then, the muscular man rushes over, claiming to have made a discovery. The old man grins, declaring they just need to kill Lu Fan now. The girl taunts him, suggesting it's time to say goodbye. Lu Fan, desperate, refuses to accept that his dream of becoming a dragon tamer is slipping away. Suddenly, the egg begins to crack. To everyone's shock, a small dragon emerges, soaring into the sky before descending aggressively. The old man hurls a green potion at the dragon, but it dodges effortlessly. The buff man charges to punch it, but the dragon retaliates, ripping through him. His head rolls to the ground, leaving the old man horrified. The dragon then turns to face him. Terrified, the old man pleads for Lu Fan's help, while the girl, stunned, questions if it's really a dragon. Blood sprays as the old man is devoured by the dragon, leaving only remnants behind. Lu Fan mocks the girl, calling her foolish, and shoves her aside. He declares that he's not a summoner, but a dragon tamer. A red aura surrounds him, signaling a bond with the dragon. The system confirms a successful contract with the black dragon. Desperate, the girl begs for forgiveness, claiming she didn't know it was a dragon egg. Lu Fan shows no mercy. He commands the dragon to attack, labeling her a bandit. Blood spills, and after the battle, Lu Fan tends to his wounds while his dragon explores his backpack. Lifting the dragon by its small arm, he affectionately calls it Lively. Confidence swells in him, knowing he has closed the gap from weakest to strongest. The dragon, just born, is already powerful, its future potential unimaginable. Touching its face, Lu Fan expresses hope that dragon tamers will no longer be seen as useless. He decides it's time to name the dragon. Just as he's pondering names, the dragon starts glowing with a red aura, transforming. Flames engulf it, and when the smoke clears, a girl with red hair, a small tail, and wings stands before him. Lu Fan is stunned by her human form. She nods, indicating she's still a dragon, though the system now shows her in human form. Despite this, she acts entirely dragon-like, even eating dirt. Lu Fan gains new abilities, including a claw strike and a strength boost. Her stats at level 1 surpass those of humans at level 20, and her bloodline's power doubles his stats, proving the strength of dragons. Amazed, he realizes that despite her transformation, she remains a true dragon. Naming her after Dawn, he calls her Xiao Yi. Petting her, he reflects on how dangerous this was but concludes it was worth it. Now, with this opportunity, he plans to train hard before university starts, aiming for the top. As they walk, they spot a herd of hyenas, far more dangerous than the gray fox. Smoke rises as Xiao Yi flies into the air, eager to lead. With her, this mountain is no longer a threat. She unleashes a fiery barrage, raining down experience points. Lu Fan levels up, and Xiao Yi gains 2 levels, solidifying their powerful bond. Lu Fan stands over the defeated hyenas, impressed by how easily he dispatched them. He remarks that these small enemies aren't worth his time anymore. Gaining experience is his main focus now. However, his attention soon shifts to a nearby cave. He senses something powerful lurking inside. As they approach, the ground trembles, and a massive creature emerges, a lion with 3 heads. Its system tag identifies it as a level 25 boss, a formidable opponent that would typically require a large team to defeat. But with Xiao Yi by his side, Lu Fan feels no fear. The 3-headed lion roars, boosting its power, and starts casting a powerful fireball spell. Recognizing the danger, Lu Fan warns Xiao Yi they must interrupt the spell. Xiao Yi surrounds herself with flames, and Lu Fan charges forward. The lion hesitates, sensing their strength, but Lu Fan is already riding Xiao Yi, who has reverted to her dragon form. She attacks, biting one of the lion's heads. With the spell interrupted, Lu Fan strikes a precise blow to the lion's main head, causing the beast to collapse. Surprisingly, the fight ends quickly. Lu Fan wonders how it was defeated so easily. His level jumps to 14, while Xiao Yi reaches level 9. As the system resets, he eagerly anticipates receiving another treasure map. Filled with excitement, he calls Xiao Yi for a stroll. Deep in the mountainous caves, a blue-haired girl talks to a knight named Sun Ji, discussing a rare opportunity. They plan to enter the Realm of Fortune but need 5 members. The girl, Kai, known as a Hearts Bandit, mentions that even with her agility, reaching the realm will take a full day. Another girl, Shu, carrying a staff, explains that the realm appears once every 24 hours and is extremely rare. Her profession remains a mystery. Sun Ji reassures Shu that her skills will secure her admission to a top college, along with abundant resources. Their conversation is interrupted when they hear footsteps. They turn to see Lu Fan approaching. Sun Ji immediately questions why someone of his level is wandering in such a dangerous area. Lu Fan introduces himself, assuring them he means no harm and is just passing by. Sun Ji, noticing Lu Fan's simple attire, assumes he is weak. However, Qin Qiu, a member of the group, introduces herself and offers Lu Fan a deal: join them in exploring the realm, and he'll receive 100,000 coins. Lu Fan hesitates, recognizing the name Realm of Fortune, confirming the reward. Qin Qiu reassures him they only need more members to complete their group. With 4 people already, Lu Fan realizes they're desperate. Sun Ji urges him to join quickly, but Lu Fan surprises them by refusing the money. Instead, he wants to participate as a full member. The group is taken aback. Kai asks if Lu Fan is serious about competing for rewards based on performance. Lu Fan confidently agrees. Despite doubting his abilities, they accept his offer. Qin Qiu, suspicious of his strength, warns that the realm is challenging. Still, they shake hands, sealing the deal. Lu Fan lets Xiao Yi rest, planning to use her only when necessary. They enter the portal leading to the realm, which is described as the intermediate level limitation with a high difficulty setting. Inside, an eerie silence envelops them. Sun Ji questions Lu Fan's lack of visible weapons. Calmly, Lu Fan reaches into his inventory and summons a dragon blade he had earned from a previous treasure map. Amazed, Sun Ji admits he underestimated Lu Fan, suspecting he might be a transfer student. Suddenly, the ground shatters, and decaying level 15 zombies emerge. Sun Ji, eager to prove himself, charges forward, slashing at the undead. Kai holds the front line, protecting their mage. Qin Qiu raises her staff, invoking a powerful Starlight Rain spell that both strengthens allies and damages undead enemies. She reveals her secret class, Light Mage, capable of both healing and attacking. As the ground trembles again, a new threat approaches: bloodthirsty elite zombies. Sun Ji orders Kai to protect Qin Qiu while he and another warrior advance. However, their attacks falter as their blades get stuck in the zombies' flesh. These creatures drain life with their poisonous attacks, making them incredibly dangerous. Sun Ji warns Kai to assist, but Lu Fan intervenes, declaring it unnecessary. His eyes glow red, and he wields his dragon blade with precision. The zombie charges at Lu Fan, but he fearlessly drives his blade into its chest, shocking everyone. Kin Kyu blushes, impressed by his strength. Even Sunji is left speechless. Handing back the blade, Lu Fan insists they move forward. Sunji, still in disbelief, asks about his level. Lu Fan casually reveals he's a level 14 student preparing for an entrance exam. Kin Kyu, surprised, realizes they are the same age. The group, now unified by Lu Fan's unexpected power, prepares to face whatever challenges the realm throws at them next. As Kin Kyu watches Lu Fan fight, she can't help but notice how much stronger he is than the level 28 knight, even though Lu Fan is only level 14. Her thoughts are interrupted when a bloody zombie appears beside her. Kai, the bandit, tries to attack it by stealing its heart and shooting an arrow, but before she can finish, Lu Fan steps in. He stabs the zombie in the chest, pulls out his blade, and smashes the creature against the wall. After defeating the zombie, Lu Fan warns the group that the monsters will keep getting stronger. He then declares he'll take the lead and asks if anyone has objections. The group, still in shock, stays silent. Kin Kyu smiles, agreeing to let him lead, and says she'll support him from behind. Lu Fan introduces himself, urging the group to move deeper into the realm. As they follow Lu Fan, they overhear rumors about a new dragon tamer, a class known to be weak. Kin Kyu is puzzled by this because the dragon tamer class should be almost useless. Suddenly, another zombie drops dead in front of them. They have reached the central village of the realm. Lu Fan notices that Kin Kyu's healing magic cannot remove the poison affecting one of their teammates. Kai then senses something odd beneath their feet, and zombies begin to approach from behind. The poisoned teammate tries to warn the others but collapses. Kin Kyu rushes to help but sees a red glow on his back. As the team turns, they spot a terrifying zombie with steel-like skin. Kai immediately recognizes it as a mystical guardian. The group notices the creature has absorbed bodies, and Lu Fan warns they need to kill it fast before it absorbs their friend. Sunji, the knight, charges forward with his moonlight cut, but his blade fails to scratch the monster. Lu Fan realizes that the poison is drawing more creatures towards them. He decides to strike, aiming his blade at the creature's face. Although the attack weakens it slightly, the creature's defense is still 40% stronger. Lu Fan recalls one of his blade's abilities, Dragon Armor Eyes. The zombie, now more aggressive, charges towards Kin Kyu. Lu Fan shouts for her to activate her blessing powers while he uses his dragon ability. Kin Kyu complies, casting her light magic. With their combined strength, Lu Fan delivers a powerful strike to the zombie, causing half of its body to explode. Samia, another teammate, observes the battle and concludes that the mystical guardian relies on continuous absorption to maintain its size. Just then, the creature's main body is revealed, a grotesque head with a giant eye. Recognizing the vulnerability, Lu Fan leaps into action, delivering a fiery blow to the head. The creature disintegrates, and an explosion erupts from its back. The group stares in awe at Lu Fan's stylish finish. Kin Kyu is visibly impressed, and Kai can hardly believe he defeated a level 20 boss alone. As the dust settles, a treasure chest appears from the fallen creature. Kin Kyu approaches, apologizing for underestimating Lu Fan earlier. Samia admits that Lu Fan's strength is remarkable and that he could have handled this mission solo. Lu Fan opens the chest, finding a strength potion, antidotes for poison, and a bracelet that boosts strength and resistance. Samia comments that the treasure is underwhelming for such a tough realm. Lu Fan agrees, expecting something more valuable. Kin Kyu hands him the bracelet, acknowledging that he contributed the most. Lu Fan equips it, boosting his stats. While everyone waits for a portal to appear, Kai suggests searching the area. Lu Fan suddenly notices something on his system screen. It indicates that the zombie wasn't the final boss. Alarmed, Sunji asks if Lu Fan has discovered anything. Kin Kyu points towards a lake, sensing dark energy. She insists something dangerous is nearby. Trusting her instincts as a light mage, the group cautiously moves forward. As they approach the lake, eerie eyes and tentacles emerge from the water. Lu Fan realizes they're dealing with something new. Sunji believes it's the final boss and warns everyone to be ready. The monstrous creature attacks, and Sunji tries to shield the group. However, the impact is too strong, and he falls to the ground. The tentacles shift their focus to Kin Kyu. Lu Fan rushes in, cutting off one of the tentacles, saving her just in time. She is shaken but grateful. Before she can thank him, a new threat arises. They turn to see a monstrous figure with long hair emerging from the tentacles. This is no ordinary enemy. It's a Morning Spectre, a level 25 boss with a high difficulty rating. The group quickly realizes this is the true final boss. Despite his injuries, Sunji tries to defend them, urging everyone to fall back. He tells Lu Fan to stay on the offensive, knowing their survival depends on him. Without hesitation, Lu Fan charges forward, determined to face the monster while his teammates struggle to hold the line. As Lu Fan observes the monstrous woman at the heart of the tentacled creature, he becomes certain that she must be defeated to destroy the beast. However, before he can act, she lets out a terrifying scream, unleashing an ability that reduces everyone's stats by 20%. A tentacle slams into the ground, but Lu Fan dodges swiftly, using the momentum to leap at the woman. The creature is momentarily startled, but Kin Q warns him about chains nearby. Despite her warning, Lu Fan is struck by them, and the monster launches a powerful attack at the group, sensing they are clustered together. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, the teammate who was incapacitated moments ago stands up and defends the group. As a massive hand heads toward Lu Fan, an arrow suddenly pierces it, reminding him that his team is still fighting alongside him. Seizing the opportunity, Lu Fan grabs one of the chains and uses it to propel himself toward the creature. He slashes through the tentacles, holding them back. Furious, the monster thrashes in agony and lashes out with the chains again. Lu Fan narrowly dodges and activates his dragon transformation ability, slicing the chains in half. The chains fall before the group, but Sui, one of their comrades, expresses doubt that they can continue the fight and suggests retreating. Lu Fan insists that Sunji, the knight, should lead everyone to safety while he covers their escape. Kin Q asks what he plans to do, and he reassures her not to worry. Kai urges them to leave quickly, though Kin Q feels helpless, knowing they can't do much to assist. As Lu Fan opens a massive red portal, the monster screeches, preparing to attack again. But Lu Fan confidently calls for her to come out. As the monster's hand approaches him, it is suddenly bitten by a massive black dragon, Xiao Yi. The group is stunned as they watch Lu Fan command a dragon that effortlessly slices through the monster's limbs. The creature writhes in pain, attempting one last chain attack, but Xiao Yi tears through it with ease, sending the beast crashing into the lake. The group can't believe their eyes. Lu Fan, a mere child, has summoned a giant dragon and defeated the boss in moments. Kin Q realizes he is the rumored dragon tamer from centuries ago. Sun Ji mentions that a legend from 300 years ago speaks of someone who was born under the church's protection but was later betrayed. This person, who only wanted to help, was blamed for a devastating plague and drowned in the lake. Kin Q pieces the story together, understanding that the woman they just fought became the Morning Spectre due to her tragic past. While the group discusses Lu Fan's remarkable powers, he asks when the portal will open so they can leave. Before anyone can answer, the lake bubbles violently, and a massive explosion sends waves crashing toward them. Emerging from the chaos is the evolved form of the boss, a vengeful specter, far more powerful than before. The creature's stats have significantly increased, and she now has new abilities. Kai trembles in fear, and the boss taunts them, declaring that no one will escape. She launches a water attack, and though Lu Fan tries to shield the group, Kai is trapped in a water prison. Sun Ji attempts to free her, but physical attacks are useless. Kai apologizes to Kin Q, blaming herself for insisting on entering this realm. Kin Q falls to her knees, overwhelmed with guilt, but Lu Fan confronts her. He asks if she is ready to give up so easily. She responds that the boss is immune to physical damage and only she has magic, but her power isn't strong enough. Just as the boss launches another deadly hand attack, Lu Fan steps in. Thanks to his dragon's immunity, the attack fails. Despite their fears, Lu Fan remains calm and confident, declaring that dragons are unmatched. He activates Dragon Inspiration, boosting his stats and those of his dragon. Moments later, he unleashes a devastating lava flame attack. The fiery blast hits the boss directly, melting her face. In disbelief, the group watches the once unstoppable creature disintegrate. Suddenly, the boss explodes, emitting an aura that awakens countless bodies scattered throughout the realm. A treasure chest appears as Xiao Yi and Lu Fan's levels increase. Sun Ji cheers, finally spotting the portal. However, more creatures begin to rise. Without hesitation, Xiao Yi soars over the battlefield, engulfing it in flames, incinerating the rising monsters. The group recognizes her immense power, and Lu Fan introduces her formally as Xiao Yi. He reassures the team that these creatures are mere playthings for her and urges them to focus on the treasure chest. Lu Fan opens the chest, revealing valuable items: a sacred light staff, a twilight cloak, a morning ring, and a rare class change scroll. The scroll allows someone without a hidden class to advance to a higher one. Kin Q questions Lu Fan's decision to choose the scroll, arguing that he deserves the more powerful items. However, Lu Fan calmly insists that the scroll is what he wants, leaving the rest for them. Touched by his selflessness, Kin Q offers him the morning ring as a token of gratitude. Lu Fan accepts, and with the battle behind them, the group finally prepares to return home, stronger and more united than ever. After a long battle, Lu Fan finally returned home. As he walked in, his aunt greeted him by throwing a piece of bread at his face in her usual playful manner. He laughed and told her to wait while he cleaned up, mentioning that he was still covered in dirt and needed a shower. But before he could move, she burst into tears, hugging him tightly. She admitted how worried she had been when he left without a proper goodbye, only leaving behind a note. Feeling guilty, Lu Fan apologized sincerely, promising it wouldn't happen again. He gently patted her head and comforted her until she stopped crying. To anyone watching, their bond was so strong that they might even mistake them for a passionate couple rather than family. As they sat down, his aunt marveled at Xiaoyi, who now appeared as a beautiful, small dragon. She commented on how incredible it was that this adorable creature was actually a mighty dragon. While petting Xiaoyi, Lu Fan brought up the class change scroll he had obtained from the dungeon. He wanted his aunt to have it, believing it could give her a better profession and possibly a better future. However, she hesitated, feeling the scroll was too valuable and suggested he sell it for money. Lu Fan smiled and revealed his growing bank account, which was already in the millions, reassuring her that money wasn't an issue. His aunt was shocked and asked how he had earned so much. Lu Fan explained that it was all from the rewards he gained during the dungeon battles. Finally, after some convincing, she accepted the scroll. As she opened the scroll, a bright blue aura enveloped her, lifting her hair into the air. Lu Fan eagerly asked if she felt anything. She nodded with excitement, saying her class had advanced to chef with enchantments. Xiaoyi, meanwhile, indulged herself by devouring every piece of bread on the table. That night, Qin Qiu had a conversation with a mysterious man about Lu Fan's incredible power. She confessed how her recklessness had nearly led to everyone's death, but Lu Fan's bravery saved them all. The man, revealed to be Qin Shanghai, her father, asked if she had told anyone about the dragon. She reassured him that she kept her promise, sharing the secret only with the Kim family. Her father praised her, emphasizing how dangerous it would be if others learned about the dragon. Qin Qiu felt indebted to Lu Fan, admitting she had already given him 100,000 as thanks but felt it wasn't enough. Her father suggested giving him a purple card, a high-level token of gratitude. He also joked about meeting the dragon tamer himself but explained he had other duties, like welcoming Princess Jinju of the Tay Kingdom, who was arriving to study in Jiangyi City. Of course, there had to be a princess in this story. The next day, the princess arrived in town, eager to explore and hungry from the journey. Hearing about a famous bakery, she and her knight, Huey, headed there. When they arrived, Lu Fan's aunt informed them that the bakery was closed. Unfazed, Princess Jinju mentioned she had heard of this place and insisted on entering. When the aunt asked who they were, she was suddenly shoved to the ground by Huey. Enraged, Lu Fan came downstairs, demanding to know what was going on. He quickly rushed to his aunt, checking if she was all right. Princess Jinju, unimpressed by the scene, stated she was there to meet him. She introduced herself and Huey, claiming to have an incredible opportunity for Lu Fan. Curious, Lu Fan listened as she revealed a dragon egg inside a briefcase, explaining it was the only one in existence. However, there was a catch. He had to become her slave and obey her every command. Lu Fan was initially stunned, but not for the reason they thought. Compared to Xiaoyi's egg, this dragon egg seemed weak. Still, he inspected it and admitted the attributes were interesting. Princess Jinju assumed he didn't understand the egg's value. Huey arrogantly declared that without the egg, Lu Fan would be useless, but Lu Fan calmly refused the offer. His rejection shocked the princess, who repeated her offer, emphasizing how becoming her slave would ensure his place in history as a legendary dragon tamer. Lu Fan, amused by her arrogance, replied that he had no interest in being anyone's servant. Huey, furious at the disrespect shown to the princess, moved to attack. Lu Fan laughed, calling the offer ridiculous. Jinju ordered Huey to teach Lu Fan a lesson. But before he could, Lu Fan's aunt stepped in, pleading with them to stop. Instead of calming down, Huey slapped her, sending her to the ground. Seeing his aunt hurt, Lu Fan's demeanor changed instantly. He summoned his dragon blade, warning Huey that if he harmed his family again, he wouldn't leave alive. Ignoring the threat, Jinju commanded Huey to continue. But before Huey could strike again, Lu Fan stepped forward, turning to the princess and giving her a firm slap. In the silence that followed, Lu Fan stood tall, stating that he believed in equality, and if they insisted on violence, they should expect the same in return. Lu Fan was caught off guard when Huey attempted a sneak attack from behind. However, Lu Fan quickly defended himself, disarmed Huey, and threw his blade to the ground. Surprisingly, Huey abandoned the fight and rushed to aid the princess lying nearby. Just as he did so, he was struck again. So far, the only person who hadn't taken a beating was the protagonist, Jinju. She angrily yelled at him, calling him worthless and urging him to focus on killing the dragon tamer. Meanwhile, Xiaoyi lay in bed, sound asleep, even as his phone kept ringing. Qin Qiu was calling him while strolling through the city. No one expected her to be so strong, a promising mage indeed. Suddenly, an explosion occurred beside her, caused by Huey being thrown to the ground, bleeding. Jinju commanded everyone to clear the area and stop gawking. Huey apologized, saying that the child had too many attributes, and he couldn't handle it. Jinju reassured him, stating she would help and began casting a dark magic spell. Lu Fan immediately recognized the magic as the complete opposite of Qin Qiu's. Qin Qiu, graceful and powerful, approached while dark energy enveloped Qiu. Both were taken aback when Qiu transformed into a level 30 horseman. Lu Fan realized Qiu had become a monster, while Jinju revealed her powers as a spirit witch. Just then, Qin Qiu stepped forward, offering help. Qiu launched an attack intending to crush both of them. Lu Fan managed to dodge, narrowly escaping the assault. He knew he had no choice but to unleash his dragon abilities. Jinju screamed for them to kill the child to appease her anger. Confident in victory, Qiu didn't notice Xiaoyi arriving, already undergoing a dragon transformation. This caught Jinju off guard, and she transformed into a black dragon herself. In the middle of the city, chaos erupted. Lu Fan was disheartened but realized he had to fight. Jinju tried to cast a spell to stop the dragon, but the dragon roared, interrupting her magic. Under the dragon's paw, Qiu was crushed and discarded. Shocked and defeated, Jinju apologized, admitting there was no way to win. As Lu Fan confronted Jinju, asking if she planned to kill him, she admitted she had killed his knight. She warned that his actions would make him an enemy of the Taiki kingdom. Lu Fan refused to be intimidated, stating he didn't care if she was a princess or even a goddess, she would pay for attacking his family. Just as Jinju prepared a fireball, someone on a griffin descended, shouting for her to stop. It was Qin Qiu's father, arriving just in time. Lu Fan, still holding his fireball, glared at him but relented. He ordered Xiaoyi to return to his normal form. Qin Qiu called for calm as her father approached the princess. Afterward, Lu Fan's aunt hoped the situation would be resolved, but Lu Fan knew it wouldn't be that simple. Shanhai, a powerful figure, appeared and expressed disappointment in Lu Fan's involvement in such trouble. Lu Fan apologized, stating he hadn't intended for things to escalate. His aunt asked Shanhai if a solution had been found. Shanhai explained that the princess's family was influential and owned several businesses, making negotiations difficult. Despite this, Lu Fan stood firm, refusing to sacrifice his integrity for a dragon egg. Impressed, Shanhai praised his integrity but warned him of a condition: to become the champion in the upcoming Southern Province Grand Exam. This would buy Shanhai time to deal with the princess. Qin Qiu was concerned about the difficulty of the exam, but Lu Fan accepted the challenge without hesitation. Meanwhile, Jinju, recovering in a hospital, was furious and demanded that Lu Fan be eliminated. The following day, the grand exam commenced. Many participants were discussing their strategies, but everyone mocked Lu Fan for daring to compete. They underestimated him, unaware he had a dragon. Ignoring their doubts, Lu Fan focused on his goal. Suddenly, Gandalf appeared, ordering silence and announcing the start of the exam. Lu Fan aimed to combine all the scrolls he received into higher quality ones. As he prepared, someone approached him, a teacher from earlier, offering a teleportation stone and warning about the dangers of the exam. Lu Fan knew that his points depended on the portal's difficulty, and he was determined to secure first place. Just then, Qin Qiu arrived with another strong girl named Tao. Blushing, Tao asked Lu Fan to team up with them, but her friend seemed reluctant. Lu Fan politely declined, deciding to face the challenge alone and wishing them luck. His resolve was clear, he was ready to prove himself. Qin Qiu sadly wished Lu Fan good luck, knowing that with his strength, she would only slow him down. Her friend questioned why she wanted to team up with someone considered the weakest. Qin Qiu firmly replied that her friend didn't understand. She believed that Lu Fan would become the strongest in the southern province this year. Meanwhile, Lu Fan stepped through a portal, joining the rest of the students under a dark, ominous sky. Gandalf appeared on a large screen and explained the exam's levels: normal, difficult, terrifying, and nightmare. He emphasized that normal level creatures were projections and not dangerous. However, difficult monsters were real, though participants could escape using teleportation stones. The terrifying level tripled the points earned but was life-threatening, and going alone was not recommended. Finally, the nightmare level was so dangerous that death was almost certain. A confident student named Hongwu claimed that he would be the top scorer this year. His reputation as one of the best in the province left many students feeling discouraged. In the observation room, the audience admired Hongwu, believing he would dominate the exam. A bald observer mentioned keeping an eye on Qin Qiu, who also showed great promise. Gandalf, however, had his doubts about Lu Fan. He considered Lu Fan's class weak, but Qin's father disagreed, expressing faith in the young dragon tamer. Gandalf was skeptical, pointing out that Lu Fan hadn't even entered yet. Meanwhile, Hongwu had already accumulated 3,000 points, holding first place in the ranking. Suddenly, the sky turned red, signaling that Lu Fan intended to enter the nightmare difficulty. This shocked everyone. The observers whispered that no one had ever entered and survived. Gandalf recalled that the last person to try died 8 years ago. Some dismissed Lu Fan as reckless, believing he was doomed. However, Shanghai remained calm, advising them to watch and wait before jumping to conclusions. Lu Fan entered the nightmare portal, stepping onto a fog-covered floor where visibility was poor. He sensed at least 10 creatures nearby. Black humanoid wolves, all level 10, emerged and attacked. Lu Fan stood confidently, declaring that this was only the beginning. With a swift slash, he eliminated all the creatures in a single blow, earning 990 points. In the observation room, the bald man was stunned by Lu Fan's effortless victory. Gandalf began to wonder if Lu Fan had indeed bonded with a legendary dragon. As Lu Fan's performance continued to amaze, a man with a red briefcase entered the room. He introduced himself as Kang Zhang, a level 57 swordsman from the city of Langu, sent to investigate Lu Fan. He demanded to know where the dragon tamer was. Kang Zhang expressed concerns, suggesting the exam be halted. Gandalf refused, emphasizing the importance of the test for all students. Kang Zhang warned that Lu Fan's actions might bring severe consequences, but Gandalf remained firm. Meanwhile, Lu Fan progressed smoothly through the tower, using a map to locate a treasure hidden among the vines. He discovered a book of accelerated growth, a valuable item that would double Xiaoyi's experience gain. Knowing how much she struggled with leveling up, Lu Fan realized how useful this would be. Back in the observation room, Kang Zhang insisted that Lu Fan be summoned immediately. Gandalf stood his ground, unwilling to disrupt the exam. Kang Zhang hinted at a punishment awaiting Lu Fan and warned that protecting him would lead to conflict with the Jin family. As tensions escalated, Shanghai intervened, urging calm. Despite the pressure, Gandalf asked everyone to observe Lu Fan's progress, confident they would soon understand why he was special. Lu Fan, deep inside the nightmare level, decided to test his limits without Xiaoyi. However, knowing that her passive ability doubled his stats, he considered summoning her for mutual experience gain. Just as he pondered this, the observers were horrified by how easily he defeated the creatures. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed as Lu Fan called upon Xiaoyi. The audience couldn't believe their eyes as she appeared, prepared to attack. Kang Zhang, who had seen her before, admitted that her power was terrifying even now. With a mighty strike, she shattered the wall, revealing her strength. As everyone watched in awe, Kang Zhang declared that Lu Fan's secret was out. He was the first dragon tamer in history to successfully tame a dragon. Gandalf, sweating in disbelief, finally realized the truth. Despite all doubts, Lu Fan had achieved the impossible. On the second floor, everything was scorched and Lu Fan passed with ease, cutting through any obstacles. Observers couldn't believe it. Some whispered that if he continued to grow stronger on his own, he might become powerful enough to challenge an entire nation. Meanwhile, Lu Fan advanced to the 13th floor, accumulating 58,000 points and defeating every enemy in his path. Gandalf observed this and remarked that it wasn't just the dragon's power aiding him. Lu Fan possessed incredible strength of his own. With over 100 points in each attribute, Shanghai turned to Zhang, asking if he truly wanted to face Lu Fan. Zhang, now understanding Lu Fan's confidence, instructed someone to send a video of Lu Fan's performance to Professor Marquis. Lu Fan reached the 24th floor of the nightmare difficulty. Black Knights, led by a monstrous creature known as Black Sacrifice, a level 15 beast, blocked his way. Lu Fan turned to Xiaoyi, touching her chin, and activated lava flame, causing a massive explosion that vaporized the enemies. With this victory, Xiaoyi leveled up to 11, and Lu Fan reached level 16, amassing 98,000 points. An hour later, during the fear challenge on the 50th floor, a muscular competitor was struggling, muttering about how brutal this year's challenge was. However, he felt confident that only Qin Qiu, due to her teamwork strategy, might challenge his top spot. Since she shared points with her team, he believed he had the upper hand. He proudly called out, asking if everyone watching admired his performance. Unbeknownst to him, most eyes were on Lu Fan, who was also approaching the 50th floor. Observers doubted Lu Fan could maintain his pace. However, Lu Fan felt confident because Sun Ji had gained a new shape-shifting ability. She could transform into various forms, including a baby dragon, a giant flaming dragon, and an end-of-the-world dragon. Suddenly, the ground trembled as 3 level 20 stone ogres emerged, causing shock among the spectators. Some elders whispered that no one in their schools was as impressive as Lu Fan. As one of the stone ogres lunged, Lu Fan smiled, welcoming the challenge. Sun Ji intercepted the punch, and Lu Fan ordered her to transform into her end-of-the-world form. A red beam shot into the sky, triggering a powerful transformation. Her eyes turned fiery, her strength skyrocketing from 400 to 2,900. The elders were stunned. They had never seen a dragon transform for battle. The ogre attacked again, but Lu Fan effortlessly dodged, using pet inspiration, boosting his stats by 10%, though it seemed more like 30%. He commanded Sun Ji to bite the ogre's head, and she struck with precision, shocking the observers. Gandalf noted that such strength required over 2,000 points. Another ogre tried to grab Lu Fan midair, but he dodged, countering with an explosive claw attack. Xiao Yi joined the fray, roaring and weakening the ogre. Lu Fan prepared to deliver the final blow, but Sun Ji smashed the ground, destroying the last ogre herself. Both leveled up, and Lu Fan realized that nightmare difficulty was the right path for rapid growth. The elders marveled at how easily Lu Fan handled the 50th floor. One expert estimated Sun Ji's strength at 2,500 in her transformed state. A muscular elder dismissed it as impossible, arguing no one so young could surpass them. Gandalf, however, expected this. The elders then warned that from the 50th floor onward, an X+1 system activated, meaning every floor would have a boss. This rule, established by the tower's creators, made advancing extremely dangerous. Lu Fan, facing bosses in nightmare mode, now had even greater risks ahead. A smoker in the room urged everyone to stop talking and watch. Lu Fan, undeterred, was already battling another boss. Both he and Sun Ji leveled up again, but he noticed the floors were becoming harder. However, with Xiao Yi in World Destroyer mode, he needed little strategy. The elders were astonished to see Lu Fan reach the 70th floor. One elder, previously skeptical, now believed Lu Fan could conquer the tower. On the 83rd floor, Lu Fan encountered a massive mild worm. Without hesitation, he used blood transformation, and Sun Ji swiftly ended the battle by grabbing the worm. Lu Fan leveled up to 19, and the 83rd floor was complete. In a grand hall filled with anticipation, a group of elders discussed whether Lu Fan could conquer the legendary final challenge. For generations, the greatest minds had reached this stage, but none had ever succeeded in overcoming the last hurdle. Despite the doubts of many, Gandalf remained optimistic. He firmly believed that Lu Fan was unique and would be the first in a decade to clear all 1,004 levels. Some remained skeptical until news arrived that Lu Fan had reached the 99th level. Walking cautiously through a dark dungeon, Lu Fan approached a grand throne. Surrounding it were 4 headless knights, their imposing presence adding to the eerie atmosphere. Suddenly, the room brightened as candles lit up, and a headless knight with a blazing blue aura rose. This knight, a fearsome level 55 boss, was infamous for bringing destruction. Lu Fan recognized this as part of the notorious Kingdom of the Headless Knights, a mission known for its difficulty. Before Lu Fan could react further, the knight advanced and cast a curse on him. If his health dropped below 75%, he would die instantly. Faced with no way to control the situation, Lu Fan had no choice but to charge forward, battling all 4 knights simultaneously. The Headless Knight unleashed a powerful skill resembling one from a game called League of Legends, but Lu Fan dodged it and countered with a slash aimed at the knight's armor. To his surprise, the armor was indestructible, and another knight attacked from behind. Barely defending himself, Lu Fan shouted for his ally, Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi appeared in a burst of energy, smashing one knight and causing the entire castle to tremble. Together, they defeated the first knight. However, another knight stepped forward, declaring that Lu Fan must die for killing their king. This knight unleashed a lightning attack, but Lu Fan blocked it. Yet, another knight attacked from the front, and one from behind. Thinking quickly, Lu Fan leaped into the air, narrowly escaping all 3 strikes. He knew he had to reach the 100th floor quickly. Facing a fireball, he instructed Xiao Yi to unleash her most powerful attack. Her move not only dealt massive damage but also restored her health. The Headless Knights struggled to resist but were soon obliterated. Zhang Ying receives an Emerald Blessing, which amplifies her attack strength, allowing her to pierce through the boss's defenses. Lu Fan congratulates Sun Jie on her evolution and praises Zhang Ying's enhanced attacks. Xiao Yi applies another buff, and Zhang Ying strikes again with boosted power. In a decisive moment, Lu Fan ascends above the battlefield, blade in hand, ready to deliver the final blow. As he strikes the boss's head, Xiao Yi casts another powerful buff. Zhang Ying, empowered by the buff, unleashes a barrage of sword strikes, decimating the boss. The team defeats the boss, leveling up significantly. Lu Fan announces he earned 1.3 million points, though Zhang Ying comments that it seems low. He explains that it's the maximum allowed in nightmare difficulty. After the battle, Zhang Ying finally agrees to join the team. Even the girls want her contact information, but she reveals she doesn't use a phone. To celebrate their new teammate, the ant prepares a feast. The team continues training in the dungeon, gaining strength. After half a month, they are close to their freshman evaluation. Lu Fan reaches level 14, the ant level 18, and Zhang Ying level 24. Shan has equipped the venomous spider set, growing even stronger. One day, after training, the ant prepares food for everyone. As Lu Fan exits the dungeon, a goth girl with purple hair approaches him, delivering an important message from President Shanghai. As the freshman evaluation draws near, Lu Fan is approached by a goth girl with purple hair. She informs him that the president has something important to discuss. Curious about the timing, Lu Fan asks what it's about. She remains tight-lipped, only saying he'll find out when he arrives. Meanwhile, the group chats about ranking changes. The girl asks if Lu Fan is worried about it, but he admits he hasn't had time to think about ranking. His days have been a blur of dungeon crawling, classes, and sleep. She explains that due to his actions on the first day, duels for points have become a hot topic. His victory over Hong Bao has set a new standard. Weak players are now compared to 1 Hong, while strong ones are said to be worth 100 Hongs. Arriving at the president's office, Lu Fan is ushered in. The president reveals that the national test, originally scheduled for 5 months later, has been moved up to 2 months. This sudden change is linked to Jin Chengen, who is nearing level 60 and preparing for his 3rd transformation. Lu Fan quickly realizes this gives Jin Chengen an unfair edge. The president explains that the test will pit 2nd transformation participants against someone in their 3rd, making Jin Chengen the clear favorite. Concerned, the president questions whether Lu Fan still wants to compete, knowing he'll face level 50 experts and might not survive. To make the situation more dramatic, the president mentions that this is Lu Fan's chance to enter the expert ranking. Determined, Lu Fan declares he won't back down and plans to win. The president promises to provide some resources to help Lu Fan prepare and urges him to perform well in the freshman exam. On the day of the exam, the president outlines the rules. It will be a 2-on-2 arena match, with 5,000 points awarded to the first-place team. The announcement confuses many since not all students have partners. However, Lu Fan's group is well prepared. His aunt, a combat class member, forms 2 teams of 4. Outside, they meet Zhang Ying. A confident guy introduces himself to her, but she cuts him off, rejecting him coldly. The group walks away as the rejected guy stands there, crushed. Lu Fan announces he'll team up with Qin Qiu, while Zhang Ying partners with Examen. By the 2nd day, matches are in full swing. In one match, a stone beast hurls a competitor into the air, only for a deep web warrior to slash another. Shen, the dragon tamer, impresses the crowd. A girl praises him, noting they're close to the top 16. She mentions her brother, Jin Chengen, who is soon arriving and has been given an unfair advantage to compete at level 60. As the next match begins, the teams have shifted. Now, Lu Fan is paired with Zhang Ying, both fully prepared for battle. Their opponents are visibly nervous seeing them together. Earlier, Qin Qiu insisted Lu Fan and Zhang Ying should aim for 1st place, while she and Snam secure 2nd. Confident, she and Siam cheer from the stands. Lu Fan asks Zhang Ying if she's ready to take 1st place, and she responds with determination. In the preparation area, Lu Fan uses stored treasures to synthesize maps, discovering a high-level location, the Flying Dragon Cemetery, suitable for levels 45 to 60. When it's time to enter the arena, Lu Fan is eager for the test. Zhang Ying asks if he feels confident against another dragon tamer. Lu Fan jokes that they could bet on their victory. She wonders if he'll summon his dragon, but he assures her it's unnecessary. After fighting alongside her, he believes they're well matched and hopes to learn more about her sword master class if they win. The match begins with Chen Zai charging at them, spear extended. He boasts about finally getting a chance to defeat Lu Fan. However, Lu Fan vanishes and reappears, telling Zhang Ying she can't back out of their bet now. He swiftly slashes Chen Zai's dragon and lands a punch that damages his armor. Enraged, Chen demands to know why Zhang Ying isn't attacking and why Lu Fan hasn't summoned his dragon. Lu Fan smugly replies that he doesn't need to use his full strength for this fight. Meanwhile, the princess watches from afar, eager to humiliate Lu Fan again, but she underestimates him, unaware she's about to pay the price for her arrogance. Shen, determined to turn the tide of the battle, commands his armored dragon to launch an attack on Lu Fan. As the dragon advances, Lu Fan smirks, joking that the dragon looks a bit lopsided without one of its teeth. Without hesitation, he leaps toward the dragon, vowing to fix its face. In midair, the dragon locks eyes with him, but Lu Fan delivers a devastating punch, sending the beast crashing to the ground. The crowd is stunned. No one expected him to take down a dragon with a single blow. The princess, visibly frustrated, orders Chen to finish Lu Fan immediately. Chen jumps toward Lu Fan, pledging to obey her command. He orders his dragon to use a powerful tail strike, thinking Lu Fan, as a tamer, wouldn't have advanced movement skills. With attacks coming from both sides, it seems Lu Fan has no escape. Yet, when the dust clears, he's unharmed, casually sitting on the remains of the dragon's previous prey. He taunts Chen, asking if that's the best he can do. Chen is visibly shaken. His earth dragon is far stronger than other beasts at the same level, yet Lu Fan seems unfazed. Suddenly, the princess intervenes, frustrated with Chen's poor performance. She demands to know how he's struggling so much when Lu Fan hasn't even summoned his dragon. She can't recommend someone so weak to her brother or the Tai Kingdom. Deciding to take matters into her own hands, she activates her unique ability on the earth dragon. Lu Fan immediately recognizes the technique. It transforms beings into monstrous versions of themselves. The Earth Dragon becomes twisted, its body surrounded by a menacing purple aura. Its roar echoes through the arena, unsettling the spectators. Jiang Ying, alarmed by the transformation, prepares to activate her swords, but Lu Fan stops her, reminding her of their bet. He assures her he's faced this ability before. Ignoring Lu Fan, the princess orders Jiang Ying to attack and use the buff she provided. Internally, she schemes to steal Lu Fan's black dragon. She mocks Lu Fan, questioning his claim that he doesn't need his dragon. However, Lu Fan unleashes his Ice Dragon's Fury ability, instantly immobilizing Chen's dragon and chilling both Chen and the princess to the core. They can barely move. Lu Fan calmly states that while the princess's magic enhanced the dragon, it wasn't enough to surpass his abilities. He charges toward the princess, daring her to try taking his black dragon. As he strikes at her, Chen steps in, blocking the attack. The Earth Dragon, momentarily freed, lunges at Lu Fan. Lu Fan teleports onto its back, activating a new spell, Blue Dragon's Roar. Spectators are in disbelief. How can one person possess such immense physical strength and magical power? Tianzi, observing from the sidelines, is equally stunned. Both Lu Fan and Chen are dragon tamers, yet their abilities seem worlds apart. Lu Fan then taunts Chen, questioning why he only uses basic spear attacks and no dragon-based techniques like a Dragon Claw strike. Confused, Chen admits he's never heard of such abilities. Lu Fan smirks, explaining that their differences stem from Chen's lack of advanced tamer skills. He advises Chen to give up, as they are fundamentally different types of tamers. Enraged, Chen accuses Lu Fan of arrogance. Lu Fan retorts that Chen should stop being a pawn for the princess. Chen shouts back that he's doing it because he lost his status as the strongest, and he'll do anything to regain it. Desperate, Chen turns to the princess, asking her to use her magic on him even if it risks his life. The princess, pleased by his loyalty, grants his request, calling it his last chance. Lu Fan, puzzled by Chen's devotion, asks why he remains loyal, knowing the princess's manipulative nature. Chen reveals that the princess lifted him from obscurity and gave him status. For that, he's willing to sacrifice everything. Empowered by the magic, Chen charges at Lu Fan with a dragon spear strike. Lu Fan, feeling pity rather than hatred, activates his agility ability and summons the Storm Dragon. Startled, Chen watches as Lu Fan executes a devastating Dragon Fang strike, ending Chen's transformation. Chen collapses, apologizing weakly as smoke rises from his battered form. The princess, realizing she's next, stumbles backward in fear. She warns Lu Fan that her brother will seek revenge if he touches her. Unfazed, Lu Fan slaps her, telling her to inform her brother as he has unfinished business with him. Humiliated, the princess retreats, while the crowd erupts in laughter. The president quickly restores order, announcing Lu Fan and Jiang Ying as the winners. Jiang Ying had done little during the fight, which left some disappointed. After the match, the president orders Lu Fan to his office. There, he acknowledges Lu Fan's connection to Princess Jinju and warns him of the scrutiny he'll now face. Lu Fan dismisses it, knowing she manipulated Chen. The president hands him a tablet and tells him to stop participating in the event, as he's already proven himself strong enough for the national test. On the tablet are several rare dungeons available for auction. Though expensive, the president promises they'll spare no resources to help Lu Fan grow stronger. Without hesitation, Lu Fan chooses the Flying Dragon Cemetery, a dungeon above level 55, knowing it's the perfect place to sharpen his skills. The next day, the semi-final rounds are announced, but a surprising twist leaves everyone puzzled. The president declares that Lu Fan's group has withdrawn from the competition. Whispers fill the arena as people wonder if it's connected to the events from the previous day. Meanwhile, in a secret dungeon, Lu Fan apologizes to Jiang Ying, feeling responsible for her inability to compete. Jiang Ying, however, reassures him. She's not upset. Instead, she's excited to join him in the secret realm where they can both gain more experience. As they prepare, a voice from above grabs their attention. A red-haired man descends and introduces himself as a member of the Black Rat Guild, a secretive group of hunters. He points toward the Flying Dragon Cemetery and congratulates them on winning their previous bet, offering to guide them to the dungeon entrance. Curious, he asks about their levels. Lu Fan responds that he's level 25, and Jiang Ying is level 24. The Black Rat Guild member is stunned, warning them that the dungeon is meant for level 55 adventurers and suggesting they contact the academy to correct the mistake. Before Lu Fan can explain, a massive tree trunk suddenly falls, sending everyone into a panic. Amid the chaos, Lu Fan activates his Blue Dragon ability, electrocuting a high-level flying creature. Shocked, the Black Rat member asks if Lu Fan is truly just level 25, as the defeated creature was level 50. Lu Fan calmly reassures him that such creatures pose no threat. Impressed but still cautious, the black rat agrees to guide them further. He eventually reveals the entrance hidden behind some bushes, noting that the teleport is connected to a nearby tree. After completing his task, he prepares to leave, but Lu Fan stops him, hoping to build a friendship. Lu Fan sees value in knowing someone with access to secret dungeons and offers to pay for future information. The black rat, intrigued, proposes a deal, 100,000 gold for dungeon information. Lu Fan agrees, shaking hands, leaving the black rat impressed by his confidence. As the black rat departs, Zhang Ying, tired of the conversation, announces she's moving ahead. Lu Fan follows, excited as their map points toward the top of the tree. However, they soon find themselves in danger. A swarm of level 50 flying dragons descends upon them. Lu Fan quickly warns Zhang Ying to prepare. Despite her lower level, Zhang Ying fearlessly hurls her sword into the air, drawing the dragon's attention. One dragon charges at Lu Fan, but he summons Shai, who appears with flames in her mouth. Meanwhile, Zhang Ying senses danger from behind. With swift reflexes, she dodges and strikes a dragon with her sword, but in doing so, she loses her balance and begins falling from the tree. In a split-second decision, Lu Fan leaps after her, finishing off the pursuing dragon midair. He extends his hand, and she grabs it. Using his dagger, he anchors them to the tree, halting their fall. Breathing heavily, Lu Fan advises Zhang Ying to be more cautious, reminding her that their destination is above, not below. Embarrassed but grateful, she blushes, acknowledging that he saved her once again. Before they can relax, a giant white dragon suddenly soars past them. Lu Fan calls out for Xia, but she's badly injured, facing off against a skeletal dragon. The creature lunges at her, and she stands still, seemingly unable to defend herself. Lu Fan, with Zhang Ying by his side, confronts the berserk dragon. He assures Zhang Ying that Xia will be fine. He commands Xia to enter destruction mode. Trapped in the dragon's jaws, Xia shifts her form, shattering its jaw completely. Lu Fan then summons Cha, instructing her to use the Emerald Blessing, imbuing her with 3 crystal orbs. He calls for Sun Ji to join them, leading with his dagger while Sun Ji releases a powerful roar, stunning the skeletal dragon. Lu Fan seizes the opportunity, landing a heavy blow. However, the dragon retaliates by unleashing a devastating bone storm, tearing through everything around them. Suddenly, a red streak slashes across the dragon's head, dismembering its side. Confused, Lu Fan watches as Zhang Ying steps forward, ready to explain. She tells him it's time to reveal the secrets of her sword master class. She calls for Shai to prepare while explaining that her class gains a new weapon every 5 levels. Her most powerful weapon, the Calamity Scythe, increases its attack power by 0.11% with every kill. She unleashes an explosion of sin, causing the skeletal dragon to crack apart. Lu Fan realizes that swordmasters don't gain new abilities, but instead receive new weapons, each with unique powers. He then turns to Xia, directing her to use Earth Smash. With 3 crystals glowing on her head, Xia extends her claws and strikes the ground, shattering it beneath the bone dragon, burying it. As the dust settles, Jai levels up to 15, unlocking a new transformation. Despite their victory, Zhang Ying appears disappointed. She reveals that while she used her ultimate weapon, much of its power came from Xia's support buff. Lu Fan reassures her, knowing they made a strong team. Together, they prepare for the next challenge, aware that even greater dangers await in the depths of the Flying Dragon Cemetery. Lu Fan thanks Zhang Ying for helping him and congratulates Xiaoyi for evolving. Xiaoyi has unlocked 2 powerful forms, the Eternal Dragon and the Spiritual Light. Lu Fan pats her on the head as a sign of appreciation. Zhang Ying smiles and says it's time to climb the tree again. Suddenly, a barrage of fire rains down from above, forcing everyone to flee. They're confused about who's casting such powerful magic. Lu Fan quickly realizes that their noisy battle with the bone dragon must have attracted unwanted attention. He hides behind a tree and notices a legion of dragons flying by. On one dragon's back sits a massive creature that looks like a final boss. Xiaoyi, in her spiritual light form, can now grant soul protection and soul impact. Lu Fan instructs Sun Ji to also shift into her light form and stay close to Xiaoyi. They need to make their way to the top. The 2 dragons transform, ready for battle. Soul Protection boosts their attributes by 200% and absorbs some incoming damage. But the downside is that Xiaoyi can't do much else while using it. Despite the risk, Lu Fan is confident. Xiaoyi already has an impressive strength of 26,000 points. Zhang Ying is amazed by this, and Lu Fan explains that Shafai's buffs work even better on dragons. As they advance, birds in the sky launch another wave of attacks. Lu Fan warns Xiaoyi not to counterattack but to keep moving forward. Xiaoyi absorbs the incoming fire using her spiritual form. When the time is right, Lu Fan commands her to release the stored energy with a key explosion. She unleashes a powerful aura, causing the attacking dragons to fall from the sky. Zhang Ying asks about this new ability, and Lu Fan explains how it works. She is fascinated, realizing that dragon evolutions are far more complex than the weapon upgrades she gets as a swordmaster. As they approach their goal, Lu Fan spots the next challenge, a level 60 steel Drivagon. This creature uses a devastating steel charge that can destroy anything with less than 10,000 health points. Zhang Ying urges caution, but Lu Fan stays calm. He commands Xiao Yi to activate Soul Impact. Surrounded by green energy, Xiao Yi gains a significant boost. Her strength soars to 34,000 points. With a mighty slam of her paw, she targets the steel dragon's neck while Cha fires a powerful laser, tearing off one of its paws. The steel dragon roars and charges at them. Zhang Ying, sensing danger, uses her Explosion of Sin ability to attack its neck. Despite her efforts, the dragon barely flinches. She admits she can't deal enough damage. Lu Fan reassures her, acknowledging her desire to contribute. He tells Xiao Yi to link with him, sharing their strength. With his dagger ready, Lu Fan withstands the steel dragon's attack. At the same time, Xiao Yi strikes from above, landing a critical hit on the dragon's head. Together, they defeat the steel dragon, and the group celebrates their hard-earned victory. Cha gains a new intimidation ability, and Zhang Ying levels up to 25. Lu Fan teases Zhang Ying, saying she's been talking a lot lately. He jokes that spending time with him is changing her. He recalls the first time he heard her voice, calling it adorable. Embarrassed, Zhang Ying demands to know what he means by that. They continue bantering as they walk through the forest, their bond growing stronger. Meanwhile, the two dragons playfully nip at each other, clearly enjoying their time together. At the top of the tree, they discover a blue dragon egg surrounded by raccoon-like creatures. Lu Fan asks Zhang Ying if she unlocked a new weapon upon reaching level 25. She proudly reveals a new sword with a unique agility effect. The blade can split into thousands of petal-like fragments, each dealing 10% of the original damage. Lu Fan admires its potential, noting that it will become even more powerful as it levels up. However, Zhang Ying feels the pressure of keeping up with Lu Fan's dragons. Despite her strength, she can't help but compare herself to them. They press on, knowing their destination is near. Suddenly, the dragons find something alarming, a dead adventurer surrounded by gear. It seems an older group once ventured into this dangerous place. Lu Fan warns Zhang Ying to stay alert, but before they can react, a level 60 bronze Drivagon swoops down from the sky. Moments later, a level 65 three-headed elemental dragon appears, casting a triple spell. Xiao Yi leaps into action, interrupting the spell with a powerful slap. The three-headed dragon glares at her, while the bronze dragon charges forward. Zhang Ying and Lu Fan realize they have to split their focus. Lu Fan encourages her to test her new abilities, believing it's the perfect chance to evolve them. He sprints ahead, calling for Sun Ji and Sha to prepare for battle. Xiao Yi activates Dragon Defense and Soul Impact, absorbing the enemy's attacks. She dodges the three-headed dragon's triple spell while preparing her new intimidation ability. With a powerful transformation, Xiao Yi releases a deafening roar, terrifying the three-headed dragon and leaving it paralyzed. However, Zhang Ying, standing behind, is unaffected. Lu Fan receives Sha's buff and lands a heavy blow on the bronze dragon. Seizing the opportunity, Zhang Ying slams the three-headed dragon into the ground. As the screen begins to glow with a green light, Lu Fan notices that Xiao Yi has been increasingly destructive lately. Despite the team's recent level-ups, Zhang Ying feels left out, doubting her usefulness. She worries she has become a useless genius who can't keep up. Lu Fan, however, remains focused on their mission, telling the group to rest while he handles the three-headed dragon. As he examines the status window, Zhang Ying brings him food prepared by her aunt. Yet, she feels uneasy. Outside the camp, no one is around. She wonders if Lu Fan has realized how useless she feels and whether he plans to leave her behind. Her doubts make her seem more like an emo than a goth. Meanwhile, Lu Fan is getting closer to the treasure's location. Finally, he reaches a basket with two enormous dragon eggs. He hides the real reason he came here from Zhang Ying. However, the eggs crack open, releasing the soul of the Dragon King. The status window shows it as level 1, but Lu Fan knows it's actually level 70. He warns the team not to underestimate the power difference. The Dragon King leaps toward them, and Lu Fan tells everyone to take the fight seriously. Zhang Ying hears the battle noises from a distance. She feels guilty, thinking that Lu Fan always has to save her. She assumes he must be tired of having her around. Remembering moments when he encouraged her, like when he thanked her for saving him, she realizes she doesn't want to be a burden anymore. Even if she isn't as strong as him, she's determined to find other ways to help. Back at the battle, Lu Fan is struggling to fight the level 70 creature alone. He calls for Sun Ji to prepare their strongest attack while using Sha's buff. Sun Ji charges in, landing a solid hit on the Dragon King's chest, and flames spread across its body. Yet, the Dragon King's soul shakes off the damage and charges at Lu Fan from behind. Startled, Lu Fan tries to activate Shafai's spiritual form. But a sudden rain of swords falls from the sky, stopping the Dragon King. Lu Fan realizes Zhang Ying has arrived to help. She tells him not to worry because she won't take unnecessary risks. He smiles, knowing she's stronger than she thinks. Xiao Yi then activates a new ability that grants multiple buffs to the whole team, 12 attack buffs and 12 defense buff. Lu Fan directs Sun Ji to attack again, and she slams the Dragon King into the ground. He prepares a powerful spell, Blue Dragon's Fury, but just as he's about to cast it, a golden light fills the sky. Lu Fan immediately recognizes it as a boss's magic. The Dragon King has replaced its abilities with dragon language spells, which are far stronger. In response, Sha creates Apocalypse Fall, dealing an incredible 2000% damage. The entire battlefield is wiped out. When the smoke clears, Xiao Yi is revealed to have saved everyone from total destruction. The Dragon King sacrificed itself to deliver that final attack. Zhang Ying, though shaken, levels up. She admits she was scared she might die, but everyone celebrates their survival and advancements. Lu Fan reaches level 29 and notices Xiao Yi acting jealous. He compliments Zhang Ying, and she finally understands why Lu Fan hadn't taken a previous arena fight seriously. He wasn't trying to abandon her. He was searching for something when he stumbled upon the boss. She reminds him of his promise never to let teammates fight alone. Feeling encouraged, she vows never to leave his side. The scene shifts to Lu Fan opening the treasure. Inside, he finds the spiritual wings of the Dragon King, which allow the user to fly and enhance draconic abilities. However, there's a catch. The item requires level 60. Alongside the wings is another item that lets a pet become a mount, combining their attributes. Additionally, there's a rare food that can summon the soul of the Dragon King 7 times, matching the user's level. Lu Fan feels a little disappointed that it's limited to 7 uses. As he inspects the items, Zhang Ying notices Xiao Yi using Life Spring, continuously increasing her HP. The energy spreads across the forest, healing the land. They soon realize the sacred tree itself is an ally in this area. Suddenly, one of the tree's roots extends toward Lu Fan, revealing a seed. The seed contains a message. To gain the favor of the true Dragon of Life, they must defeat the Abyssal Dragon and submerge the seed in its blood. Lu Fan guesses the Abyssal Dragon is around level 80, meaning they'll need to prepare for a future battle. Lu Fan praises Shafai, saying they wouldn't have discovered this treasure without her. Then, he gets an idea and asks if Xiao Yi can consume the flute-like item they found. Xiao Yi has a natural assimilation ability, allowing her to absorb equipment and convert its stats into new abilities. Although there's a risk of losing the item if it doesn't work, Lu Fan gives it to her. She swallows the flute, and to everyone's surprise, it works. A shadow of a dragon appears on her back, matching Sha's current level of 18. Zhang Ying is astonished. Lu Fan now has a pet with its own dragon companion. She suggests they head back. Worried others may be concerned about their long absence, the group prepares to return. Their spirits high and their bond stronger than ever. Lu Fan tells Zhang Ying to go ahead without him, as he still has something important to handle. The scene shifts back to the academy, where Lu Fan, arms crossed, addresses his teammates. He complains about their constant fighting and directs their attention to a stellar dragon egg, announcing that it's like a new family member. He attempts to use an ability to hatch the egg, but nothing happens. That's when he realizes he must become a dragon master by reaching level 30 to hatch it. Since he's already level 29, he figures it won't take long. He informs the group that tomorrow they'll be heading to the Spider Forest for another mission. The next morning, Qin Kyushu and Cheyenne knock on Lu Fan's door. He groggily opens it, confused by their urgency. They show him a post circulating around the school. The post claims that Lu Fan dropped out of the championship match because he was afraid of losing. He's baffled and asks who's spreading this rumor. Qin explains that the Fengyun Pavilion, a group with the Academy's 3rd and 6th strongest fighters and over 30 members, is behind it. Lu Fan, being the school's top fighter, feels disappointed that everyone believes he's scared. Qin tells him that Zhang Fengyun, the pavilion's leader, wants to take his spot as number 1, which could cost Lu Fan his qualification for the national championship. Lu Fan quickly grasps Zhang's strategy but remains calm. With a smile, he borrows her tablet and says he's going to respond. In the arena, Su Jing, a member of the Fengyun Pavilion, informs Zhang Fengyun that Lu Fan has responded to the challenge. At the same time, 2 opponents charge at Zhang, but he effortlessly defeats them using his clone ability. The pavilion members, impressed by his power, discuss Lu Fan's reply. Lu Fan had called Zhang trash in the post, daring him to a duel if he wanted to prove who the real number 1 was. The pavilion decides to challenge Lu Fan publicly after the semi-final match tomorrow. They plan to humiliate him in front of everyone, confident in their strength. Meanwhile, Lu Fan has little interest in the pavilion's antics. Instead, he's more focused on entering a secret realm to continue farming resources. However, Qin warns him that avoiding the duel might make people think he's scared. To avoid suspicion, they suggest he disguise himself. Moments later, he's in the arena, incognito but confident. He claims no one will recognize him. However, just as the match begins, Lu Fan stands up, saying he's going for a walk. Qin, puzzled, watches him leave while the director quietly observes. In the director's office, Shang Ming discusses the upcoming duel between Lu Fan and Zhang Feng. The director advises Shang not to interfere, as it's a matter between freshmen. However, Shang is worried that the pavilion members might end up in the hospital, like Lu Fan's previous challengers. The director's concern shifts to an envoy from Dragon Capital, Ruin Chengfen, who is coming to evaluate Lu Fan. Shang assures the director that Lu Fan is progressing well and will soon advance to the second class. The director warns that Ruin has a personal grudge against Lu Fan, stemming from a past dispute involving a princess. Although Ruin once held a high position, his influence has declined, making him a risky opponent. Despite this, the director remains confident, stating that Lu Fan was his personal selection and he believes in his potential. Meanwhile, Lu Fan enters the training room, aiming to farm in the spider dungeon. However, he discovers that someone at level 29 is dominating the room, making it impossible for others to train. As Lu Fan waits for his turn, a new challenger appears, a girl with immense power. She approaches him, asking if he wants to fight. Despite her intimidating presence, Lu Fan politely calls her miss. She smiles and offers him the first move, but he declines, saying she can go ahead. She warns him not to hold back and summons a powerful weapon. Lu Fan quickly realizes she's no ordinary opponent. She moves with incredible speed, vanishing and reappearing behind him. Although he manages to block her attack, she throws him across the room with ease. Shocked by her strength, Lu Fan starts wondering what level she could be. She smirks and tells him that if he's only going to defend, she'll have to teach him a lesson. The tension builds as Lu Fan prepares for a tough fight, understanding that this opponent is far beyond anything he's faced before. The crowd outside was completely caught off guard by the loud sounds of clashing weapons as two fighters faced off in a fierce battle. Whispers spread among the onlookers, all wondering when the fight would end. Just as the tension reached its peak, an announcement echoed through the arena. The pavilion team had won their match. In the midst of the celebration, Zhu Jing casually mentioned that Lu Fan, a well-known figure, had come to watch their match. This news stirred emotions, especially for Feng Yan, who confidently declared that Lu Fan's arrogance would be crushed in their upcoming duel. He boldly claimed that Lu Fan wouldn't last a minute against him, while Feng Yan prepared for his match. Some of the girls curiously discussed Lu Fan, wondering where he had gone, as he had left a while ago. However, Lu Fan was already in a much more challenging situation. He was locked in a dangerous, one-on-one fight against a mysterious and powerful opponent. His opponent, a senior female fighter, was impressively skilled. She teased him, saying he was getting used to her movements too quickly. But Lu Fan had already figured out something important. If she wanted, she could have ended the fight much sooner. So, why was she holding back? The mysterious woman, who seemed to be much more experienced, remarked that although Lu Fan looked like someone with little energy, he had a handsome face. She stepped closer, asking why he was hiding his strength. Even Lu Fan, who was known for his confidence, felt a bit flustered. Apologetically, he explained that he had to take a call and excused himself. However, before leaving, he boldly asked for her contact information. The woman laughed, surprised at his courage, and teased him, saying she didn't expect him to ask for a girl's number so soon after meeting her. Embarrassed, Lu Fan clarified that he only wanted to plan another training session. To his disappointment, she refused to give her number, instead saying that if he wanted to see her again, he should simply open another one of the training rooms. Left intrigued and confused, Lu Fan wondered if she might be a teacher. Her strength had been overwhelming, and yet he had still earned 100 points from the encounter. Determined to learn her identity, he ran after her, calling out, but she vanished. Just as he was about to give up, his aunt and her friends appeared, stopping him in his tracks. They asked why he was in such a hurry. Exhausted, Lu Fan paused but remained fixated on finding out who that mysterious woman was. The next day, the long-awaited match between Lu Fan's team and the pavilion began. Feng Yan, determined to win, gathered a large crowd, eager to prove his claim that Lu Fan wasn't the unbeatable warrior people believed him to be. With tension in the air, someone shouted that Lu Fan had arrived. The crowd turned to see him walking in casually, a piece of bread in his mouth, as if he had no care in the world. Apologizing for the wait, he confidently said, "Let's start. I have other things to do later." Feng Yan, clearly irritated by Lu Fan's laid-back attitude, announced a bet of 7,000 points on the match. To everyone's surprise, Lu Fan countered by declaring he would bet 177,000 points. Su Zhang, one of Lu Fan's teammates, was stunned and protested, saying they didn't have that many points. But Feng Yan silenced him, stating that if they won, they wouldn't need to worry about anything at the academy ever again. With everything on the line, the pavilion team accepted the challenge, and the battle commenced. The pavilion leader warned his teammates, predicting that Lu Fan might summon his dragon companion. Prepared for a tough fight, the pavilion members drew their weapons, ready to strike. Yet, Lu Fan stood motionless, smiling, as if he wasn't concerned. The leader gave the order to attack, and Zhu Jing cast a powerful spell, sending chains from his staff to immobilize Lu Fan for 5 seconds. The team rushed toward him, determined to finish him off before he could summon the dragon. However, Lu Fan effortlessly broke free and drew a dragon-shaped dagger. Shocked, the leader couldn't understand how Lu Fan had escaped the chains so easily. Before anyone could react, Lu Fan grabbed the leader by his chest and threw him to the ground as if he weighed nothing. The crowd gasped in disbelief. Zhu Jing quickly activated another spell, reducing Lu Fan's movement speed by 75% and launching a barrage of magical explosions. Dust filled the air as the attacks landed directly on Lu Fan. When the dust settled, Lu Fan emerged unscathed, still smiling. "Is that all you've got?" he mocked. Stunned, Zhu Jing couldn't comprehend how Lu Fan was unaffected. The pavilion leader struggled beneath Lu Fan's foot, desperate to regain control. In a final attempt to turn the tide, Feng Yan unleashed his ultimate skill, creating several clones to surround Lu Fan. Believing victory was within reach, the pavilion members cheered, convinced their leader would win. But Lu Fan raised his hand, signaling something unexpected. Calmly, he declared that since he had already won championships, it was time to reveal something no one had ever seen before. A wave of awe swept through the crowd as Lu Fan summoned Xiaoyi, a dragon-like creature with majestic wings. With a single flap of her wings, Xiaoyi unleashed a devastating barrage of fire, obliterating Feng Yan's clones. Everyone stood in stunned silence, unable to believe their eyes. Was that a real dragon? Even Feng Yan, who had been so confident moments ago, admitted that this was something far beyond anything they had encountered. Chen, another top fighter, had summoned powerful creatures before, but nothing compared to this. "Don't give up yet," Lu Fan warned Feng Yan, activating a dominance ability that sent a wave of power across the arena. The pavilion members, attempting to flee, were stopped in their tracks by Xiaoyi's deafening roar. The fear was paralyzing. Feng Yan, completely drained, collapsed, realizing escape was impossible. In that final moment, Lu Fan earned 13,000 points. Turning to the defeated pavilion members, he smiled and thanked them for their efforts. The arena was filled with a heavy silence as the realization sank in. Lu Fan had taken everything. Praising Xiaoyi for her role in their victory, Lu Fan reminded everyone that there were more important things ahead. Yet, the memory of that battle would remain with everyone present, a defining moment that would change the way they viewed power, courage, and strategy. Lu Fan heads back to a special training room. As he enters, a mysterious senior appears, wearing sandals. She asks him if he's been waiting alone, and Lu Fan confidently replies that he's been waiting for her. He mentions he knows she's the only one above level 70, hinting that he set a level limit for entry. She hadn't realized this earlier. Meanwhile, in the arena, Feng Yan's body is being examined, and others are talking about how Lu Fan didn't use his full power, ensuring no real danger. Back in the training room, the senior woman becomes curious and asks if Lu Fan is planning something against her. Lu Fan clarifies that he set the level limit to ensure strong people like her could enter, but he doubts she's a senior because of how powerful she is. She jokes that if she's not a student, maybe she's a teacher, and allows him to address her as senior. She approaches Lu Fan, noticing his uncovered face, saying it looks much better now. She warns him not to set level restrictions again, or she won't enter next time. Lu Fan smiles, realizing she watched his fight with Feng Yan, and she confirms she did. She thanks him for using his dragon summoning ability to put everyone to sleep quickly. Lu Fan acknowledges her praise but admits he still needs to improve in close combat. Suddenly, she almost strikes him with a spear, shocking Lu Fan. She scolds him for being too weak to act humble. A bit flustered, Lu Fan praises her strength and kindness, offering to do anything if she agrees to teach him. She finds his desperation amusing and proposes that he bring her food made by his sister. Instead of correcting her by saying it's his aunt who cooks, Lu Fan agrees. The senior challenges Lu Fan to fight with full force. If he manages to knock her down, she promises to give him a better weapon, as his current one no longer suits his evolving style. Lu Fan explains that his weapon allows him to partially transform into a dragon. She responds by leaping to the ceiling and daring him to ask for more if he thinks he deserves it. He tries dodging, explaining he's not asking for much but a rare level removal enchantment. She finds his request audacious and warns she'll teach him a lesson. After a tough training session, Lu Fan receives a massage from his aunt. He admits he couldn't land a single hit on the senior. Zhang Ying guesses the senior isn't a teacher from the capital, while Ken Q notices Lu Fan browsing forums. This time, Lu Fan is the topic of discussion, with a photo of him holding a card circulating. Zhang Ying believes Lu Fan has now become an idol for the pavilion's former supporters. However, Lu Fan remains focused on his objectives, uninterested in fame. Zhang Ying presses Lu Fan to reveal his goals, but before he answers, they head to the dungeon for more training. After multiple attempts, Lu Fan finally reaches level 30. King Shu celebrates, but Lu Fan's aunt feels unwell, as usual. His female companions express excitement about him visiting the class change hall. As Lu Fan walks through the academy, everyone recognizes him as the one who defeated the pavilion. He even gains a fan club, with some students holding his photos. One of his companions, Alman, remarks that Lu Fan's fame is spreading rapidly. His aunt jokingly complains about the hassle of disguising Lu Fan now, suggesting he wear a hood, mask, sunglasses, and a cap whenever he goes out. Lu Fan apologizes for the inconvenience. Alman wishes she had as many followers. Zhang Ying notes that no one has ever reached the second dragon class at the school, making Lu Fan's journey unique. Ken Q enthusiastically declares it's Lu Fan's chance to make history. As they arrive at the class change hall, Alman encourages Lu Fan, wishing him good luck. Lu Fan swipes his card and enters the hall, ready for his second awakening. Unlike the first awakening, this time he gets to choose his path. He anticipates challenges, as the academy system lacks information about his rare class. As a blue aura envelops his body, he begins to see various paths he can take. The first option is the Dragon Priest, which Lu Fan immediately dismisses as useless. Next is the Dragon Summoner, which he also considers weak. Then, he spots the Dragon Flame Knight, a stylish and powerful option. However, to his surprise, another choice appears, the Dragon Knight. This path is bigger, more powerful, and offers abilities that work well with pets. Lu Fan can't help but smile, knowing this is the perfect choice for his future. Lu Fan finally selects the class he believes suits him best. Outside, his friends and family eagerly discuss his class change, curious about why it's taking so long. His aunt reassures everyone to be patient, emphasizing that this is a significant moment for Lu Fan. Zhang Ying, always the dramatic one, declares that Lu Fan's choice could change the course of their era. Qin Qiu agrees, emphasizing its importance. When Lu Fan finally steps out, the girls are excited and eager to learn about his new class. However, Lu Fan tells them he'll explain everything later at home. His stats have improved significantly, and he's most excited about having 3 contract slots now. On their way back, Lu Fan's aunt jokingly asks if he'll need to learn how to ride a dragon now. Lu Fan explains that one reason he chose this class is because he already has an item that will help him, but he needs Fi and Xiaoyi to reach level 30 first. His aunt finds the idea of riding dragons strange, but Lu Fan quickly tells her to stop imagining weird scenarios. Just then, a familiar voice interrupts. It's the mysterious senior woman, whom Lu Fan nicknames Mrs. Dangerous. She tells him he should have taken her contact information earlier, as he wasted a lot of time. Xiaomin, one of the girls in the group, mentions that this must be the aunt who trained Lu Fan so hard that he would return home exhausted. The senior, however, is more interested in Lu Fan's aunt, who is known for making spiritual food. She confirms this and then asks to borrow Lu Fan for a while. The girls are confused by the sudden request, but the senior clarifies that she only needs Lu Fan for a few tasks in Dragon City. Lu Fan's aunt reluctantly agrees, telling the senior to return him before dinner. Mrs. Dangerous promises she'll bring him back in one piece. Meanwhile, Zhang Ying watches silently, and Lu Fan can't help but wonder why he doesn't get a say in any of this. The scene shifts to a fast-moving car. Lu Fan, sitting beside Mrs. Dangerous, is glued to his phone. She notices his silence and asks why he's so quiet. He responds by asking where they're headed. She reveals they're going to buy him a gift, a rare enchantment called a level removal scroll. Lu Fan is surprised but intrigued. Thanks for watching till this long, my fellow men of culture. Don't forget to tell us about your favorite waifu from this anime and subscribe to the channel for more content.